Welcome back to Talking Shop with Shop Saber. I'm Brandon, back with the gang again. Got Chad here, Travis, and we got Kyle.
The new guy.
Kyle, welcome.
Hello there. Yeah, thank you so much.
How you doing, man?
Doing pretty well, you know. First few days, settling into it, but pretty excited.
I love it. Chad, back with a new gang here now.
A lot of new faces.
You're a veteran.
Well, Travis seemed like a veteran last week.
He acted like one last week. Travis, how'd your first episode go?
That wasn't as bad as I expected, actually.
Yeah? Did you listen to yourself or no?
I did. I actually listened to all 42 minutes or whatever it was.
Yeah? Did you like the sound of your voice?
No, not at all.
That's everybody's response. Yeah, everybody's response like, man, do I really sound like that? Yeah, no, that's really what you sound like.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, it's just kind of how it is. But yeah, we're recording a little early this week, aren't we?
It's kind of weird.
It's kind of weird. We're shooting right before the weekend because I'm peacing out, boys.
It's Friday, though.
It's Friday.
We just got a snowfall, and Brandon said, I'm going to Hawaii.
Yeah, I'm taking off out. Yeah, nope, taking a trip. Haven't taken one of those in a long time, so we're going to try that.
Well deserved.
Thank you. We'll figure it out. I'm pretty sure I'm going to work every day, so that's going to be awesome.
Well, good thing you're 5 hours behind us.
Right. I don't like that. It's going to bug me.
When we're done, it's noon.
Yeah, it's noon my time.
Just be happy that your vacation will be without a hurricane.
There's no guarantees yet. I don't know what the weather. I have not looked at the weather because I refuse to check the weather. After I gave you crap for not checking the weather when you went on your vacation.
Yeah, Florida was not good for me. Hurricane Ian.
Hurricane Ian really messed that vacation up, didn't he? Yeah, so you guys got any plans for this weekend? Any fun plans?
I think I'm going to go home and start up my snowmobile.
We got flurries this morning, and Travis is convinced he's starting the snowmobile this weekend. The roads aren't even covered.
I have no idea what's it snowing today.
Going golfing still?
Well,
If you can.
Not if it's 32 degrees and snowing.
Well, might add a whole new level of complications to your whole...
I'm already bad enough.
I thought you were going on the live tour.
Got my rejection letter.
You got your rejection letter. Apparently, they don't want guys who hit...
Said 109. It doesn't cut it.
109's above the cut, huh? That stinks. What about you, Kyle? Anything fun this weekend?
Oh boy, I think I'm going up to Osceola, Wisconsin with some friends.
Nice.
We have a little Halloween shindig going a little early, but want to get it in before the weather starts to freeze. So
Nice.
There we go.
How about a beer?
yeah,
There
a
we
lot
go.
of beer. Definitely a lot of beer.
There we go. I like it. But yeah, so obviously it sounds like you guys all have plans. It's going to be a good weekend. But, I thought we'd jump into a fun topic. I've been thinking about this topic a while, and I thought today's the day. Today's the day we're going to do it. But I want to talk about the benefits of CNC for cabinetry specifically. I feel like we get a lot of calls on that industry in itself. And we get that question, like the benefits of having the CNC for my cabinet shop. So what do you guys think? Is that a topic you guys could see yourself chatting for a little while about?
That's a valid topic.
It's a very good topic.
Good. Yeah, because I thought now that, now's a great time to talk a little bit about it. The benefits of CNC machines in shops in general are awesome, but for cabinetry, because it seems, like I said, lately we get a lot of calls about, especially the end of the year. It seems like this time of year, cabinet shops are really trying to ramp up their production, trying to figure out what they're going to do for next year. And we're getting a lot more interest specifically from this application. So, again, kind of looking into it, as you guys look at cabinetry, Chad, what do you think about when you think about the cabinet shops?
What are you talking about?
Like cabinet shops in general. Like when you think about cabinet shops and CNC machines, like what do you think about?
I think about automation.
Yeah.
Yeah, automating the process, not cutting things by hand. Utilizing vacuum pins and a tool changer.
Nice. Travis, what do you think about when you start thinking about obviously cabinet shops and CNC and all that goes with it?
I mean, the biggest thing that I hear from customers, which makes me think about it more, is obviously like reducing their labor, right? A lot of these guys are getting busier. They want to take on more work. They need to get into bringing doors in-house. A lot of these guys farm that stuff out. And what they have done by hand, they don't know what they don't know. But getting a CNC machine is going to make it huge for them by reducing labor, getting a lot better quality control, and not having to pay somebody else.
That's right.
Nailed it.
It's going to be talking shop with Travis.
No crap. Wow. That was good. I don't even know if you want to jump in here, Kyle, but do you even have what comes to mind? This might be perfect because Kyle has no idea. He's literally new to CNC, just started here, social media, marketing, all that.
Not on the sales front.
Yeah. What comes to mind when you think of cabinet shops? Like what comes to mind, honestly?
Oh boy, cabinet shops.
Yeah. Like
Oh.
CNC with cabinet shops. I mean, anything that you can think of? Kind of
No,
put them
I
on the
mean,
spot.
I guess I kind of think about I guess those mom and pop stores, you know,
Yep.
them needing kind of quality over quantity when it comes to shipping out a nice product. And I feel like, Shop Saver, they can definitely apply that kind of, business with their machinery. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
that's my word salad answer.
Yeah, no, I like it. I like it. It's
ShopSaver.com.
a very marketing guy answer, and I loved it. But no, it's true. Like, I'm looking at it as, to me, it's foolish to try to run a professional shop right now without this equipment. Shops around you, really, if you're listening to this and you're a guy without a CNC and you're a guy doing cabinets, I'm talking to you, or a gal doing cabinets, I'm talking to you. Shops around you are doing it. They're making their prices competitive by adding equipment. That's what they're doing. So, if you're spending more time and energy, you simply can't compete with them. I mean, when you really look at your value, yeah, can you charge the same price as them? You absolutely can. Are you as profitable as they are? Not a chance. I mean, when you look at it, they're going to run you out of business. I'll be honest with you. They're going to run you out of town because there comes a point when eventually you're just going to get overworked. You can't keep up with what they can do. I mean, we've been doing this a long time, and on average, what takes a guy an hour or a gal an hour, man hour an hour, it's really, 10-ish minutes, if that, on a CNC? I mean, in some cases, 5 minutes.
Right.
We have a video out there that's cutting cabinets in 5 minutes. That's a video we actually published, and I know Kyle's going to be doing some more videos with that kind of stuff. But you can cut a whole sheet of material in 5 to 7 minutes on one of our traditional machines. You can't do that by hand. There's no chance. You can't even get the saw set up in 5 to 7 minutes. Like,
Right.
by the time you get everything arranged, like, it's 5 to 7 minutes, These machines just fly through the material. So it's like, think about that for a second. So if you have a 10-sheet kitchen to do, cutting time alone, you're under an hour. Under an hour to cut the whole job. Your traditional cabinet maker is building the box cabinet in an hour. So it's like, what you do in 1 hour, this whole job's done. And you're going to try to compete with them? They're going to do 10 jobs in a week, and you're going to do the same job. It just doesn't make sense, And so for me, I think we got to talk about the benefits themselves. I think we got to jump into that. I think the first thing that comes to mind for me when we start looking at the benefits of a shop itself is it's less skilled labor. Right out of the gate. Like, I'm going to be blunt with everybody listening right now. Like, I can build a heck of a cabinet using a CNC machine. I can't even fix a cabinet without it. Like, I'm terrible. I'll cut my finger off trying to use a saw. I'm absolutely horrible. Like, I'm not a woodworker. Chad, I know you're a woodworker here. We're all woodworkers here, as you say. But it's really, when you start looking at it, there's a lot of things that go into being a carpenter. Like, I'm not manly enough to be a carpenter. I realize that. Like, I'm just not that person. Like, I can work on race cars. I can do things like that. But, like, as a carpenter, you got to be, like, I don't know, patient, I think is the word I'm looking for.
Detail oriented.
Detail oriented. Because let's both be honest. We both know what I'm talking about when you talk about looking at a wood project that's been put together by the guy who is not going to take his time. It's like, definitely just, it doesn't fit right. It looks ugly. It looks like Brandon built it.
Nope.
And you're like, man, that's terrible. So, like, when my kids, they're like, Dad, can we go build a birdhouse? I'm like, no. No, we cannot. I can promise you it doesn't turn out good. But, seriously, the skilled labor side of it is something to think about. When you add a CNC technology, you reduce your need to hire additional skilled labor. You probably have a very refined system if you're a cabinet shop. The way you conduct business, is something that you're probably proud of. That kind of sets you apart. But when you hire a new guy, you have to find the right skills. But in addition to skills, there comes a whole personality side of things. Does there not, Chad and Travis?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you guys know it. We've hired a lot of people, obviously, at Shop Saver throughout the years. And one thing we've always looked at is how do they fit the team as well?
Yep.
It's not just,
Right.
Can you do the job, And that's the thing, is that's the difference between us and I think a lot of places. When we hire people, we interview them for their skill set, but we interview them to understand who they are as well. And, can they get along with the team? And how do they fit the culture at the company? We want people who encourage each other, want to be here, want to help each other. We don't want people who are gonna bring people down, right? That's not fun. We don't want anybody to be uncomfortable in their job every day. So culture's a big thing for us, and it's probably a big thing for your company too. When you're sitting there listening, if you're hiring the wrong person, you're gonna hurt your business.
Right.
The wrong person can hurt you more than it helps you. And, it also can hurt your reputation. Let's be honest, right? If you hire the wrong guy and your customers don't like him, your customers just stop calling you. Mm-hmm. They don't a lot of times tell you. A lot of times I've learned that about, customers is that they don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. It's easier to just not tell you than it is to hurt your feelings. And I don't mean that in a way of people, but just in general. It's one thing I've always said to people, like, I'm a grown adult. Call me and tell me you're looking at somebody else's machine before you just go buy that other machine. You're not going to hurt my feelings. Like, I'd rather know it up front so we can talk about it. And if it just turns out to be that we're not the right product for you, I can accept that. I'm a big enough human being to accept that. But like, what really irritates me is when I never get the opportunity. You just don't tell me, Yep. And it's the same thing with this. Like, you hire a person and people don't like them. They don't call you to tell you they don't like them. Sometimes they just don't call you back. Now you lose business. So with the CNC, you never have that. Nobody's going to call you up and be like, well, I didn't like your CNC machine, so I didn't come back. Like, they don't know who your CNC machine is, Like, they have no culture change, right? The CNC machine doesn't change the environment for the the employee. They're not gonna. That CNC machine makes fun of me every day.
Yeah, the CNC machine was rude.
The CNC machine picked on me yesterday. Like, I don't think that's gonna happen. But you also have to think about it. Like, the thing that a CNC machine doesn't have either is life distractions, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, Travis, just before we got on this, right? You got a phone call, did you not?
Yep.
Like, not any fault of your own, but a life distraction, right?
Yep.
Kid's not feeling good. You had to get your wife to go pick up your son. Like, but it's something you had to like stop what you were doing, focus on. Not that it's a bad thing, because obviously I know Travis always, will make up the time anyways. But like, now put that in a shop environment, right? What if Travis had to just leave to go pick his kid up, and he's supposed to be building cabinets, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's something to think about. As you start looking at it, the culture is a part of that. Like, how does that breed culture for the rest of the employees? You're sitting there with your crew of 3 guys supposed to be building these cabinets, right? And Johnny doesn't show up on Friday. Now it's 2 guys and cabinets still got to get installed, right?
Exactly.
Everybody's pissed at Johnny.
Well, yeah, and gets the good guys frustrated.
Correct. A machine shows up every day. It works overtime as you need it. That's the thing I love about it. Let's say you got to work nights or a weekend, right? A holiday. Let's be honest. I know a lot of people, a lot of customers of mine that they work on Christmas, they work on Christmas Eve, they work on Thanksgiving because they hang out with the family. They get done with the festivities. Well, I'm just going to head out to the shop and work, right? Like, they can do that where you can't exactly be like, hey, Johnny, I'm going to have turkey at 11. I should be back by about 1:30. I'll see you at 2. Like, most of them are going to be like, no, I'm not coming in on Thanksgiving. Your machine's going to be there, though. So even though the guys aren't there to assemble the stuff, you can still be cutting stuff that day. You don't lose time. The thing that I like about it, too, is it shows up every single day, Monday through Friday, Saturdays, Sundays, it doesn't care.
It's not hungover.
Not hungover. There's that. Let's be honest. That's real, right?
Yep.
Party too hard on the weekend. So Monday morning, you're sitting there just fighting it. Or Friday, you're thinking about what you're doing on Saturday. So again, you're not really engaged because you're excited for whatever you're doing.
It's not having to go pick up at sick kids.
Yeah.
I'll just have 4 to 5 beers to stop the shaking, and then I'll go outside.
That's exactly it. But, a machine's going to do the same quality of work day in, day out. Doesn't matter what day it is. The Monday work, the Friday work, the Wednesday work, it's all the same. That's one thing that I instantly talk about, okay? What's something else you guys what comes to mind when you start thinking about the next one?
Less outsourcing.
Yeah, less outsourcing. When you add a machine, there's less burden, right? Like, you're not going to, outsource things to another company and pay them. So, let's talk a little bit about outsourcing for a second here. With outsourcing, it means you're not going to be spending money with someone else on work you can do yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's good.
Paying for someone else's machine.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Let's talk about that a little bit, Chad. It's cheaper to pay for your own machine than it is to pay for somebody else's, right? Because you're renting time on their machine essentially. And I don't know about you, but if I'm a company, I'm not going to charge you what it costs me, right?
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
Yeah. So your machine, you can charge yourself cost, right? It's think about this. Okay, let's put it in retrospect. If you hire Johnny, right? You're skilled labor. I don't know who Johnny is, but we hired Johnny now. Johnny works in the shop, right? And he's skilled. And you decide that you're going to renovate your own house. Okay? Mm-hmm. So Johnny is going to help you do it because obviously he works for you. Are you going to pay Johnny the cost of your cabinet job to yourself? No.
Probably not.
You're not going to mark up yourself, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to be like, okay, well, if I sold this to the guy down the street, this cabinet job would be $10,000. So I'm going to have to pay $10,000 to myself. No, you're going to buy the material at cost. You're going to pay Johnny his hourly wage or whatever you pay him weekly. And you and Johnny are going to build these cabinets and then have it installed, right? Benefit to owning your own business, right?
Yep.
So now your $10,000 job, you got it done for $6,000, let's say, right? Or whatever it costs you. You win. So are you not going to do the same thing with your CNC machine then?
Exactly.
So if you're going to go and charge your jobs out to people versus outsourcing it, I'm going to charge myself whatever it costs me to build that job.
Yep.
My monthly payment, or if I paid in cash, then I don't have to worry about that. But whatever it is, I'm not going to mark myself up to do that same job. So outsourcing it, you don't get that advantage. You're going to that shop and you're telling them I need to cut this cabinet, and they're going to charge you something. They might give you a deal over somebody else because maybe you do volume with it, but they're still not doing it for free. They're charging you something. They're making money. You're paying for their machine. In one way or another, you are paying for their machine.
100%.
And when you're talking about the outsourcing too, one thing that I get a kick out of is a lot of customers don't even realize everything you can do with your CNC. So today they're doing drawers, right? They didn't even know that they could do the dovetail drawers on their machine.
Yeah.
Okay? They're like, okay, well, we've only naturally done MDF shaker doors, but we want to do race panel.
Yep.
Buy a kit. That's all it is.
Yep.
The machine is going to do it with the right tools and the right software.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. And I mean, so let's talk about that. You bring us right into our next point, versatility, right? So as you look at versatility, cabinets are only one part of the business. But what about the doors? What about the drawers, the closets, the countertops? You know, what about signage, right? I mean, let's be honest. We know cabinet shops who have openly said, like, yeah, I got asked to do a sign. You know, I built the cabinets for that pharmacy. They needed a sign for the pharmacy too, so they called me for that. Like, there's other things you can get yourself into. So, you know, MDF doors, you mentioned that a little bit. If you paid for the machine already, right? I get a lot of guys, this is my favorite. I don't do MDF doors. Or I just buy my doors. It's so much cheaper to buy them. It's cheaper to buy them. Like, cheaper to buy them. How does that work? Again, they didn't charge you less than they paid for the material. You just buy the material. Now, how is it any cheaper?
It's not.
It's not. Like, the labor is not cheaper. At the end of the day, you're going to pay for a machine, right? And as we just talked about, it takes the machine an hour to do maybe what it takes a guy all day to do. So now you're sitting there with your job done in a machine that doesn't have to run now, right?
Now you have time to cut a sign.
You got time to do a sign. You got time to outsource. You can have somebody else some other cabinet shop that you compete against is now paying you to cut their cabinets.
Yep.
Or, my personal favorite, now you have time on the machine for it to just do something. So MDF doors. You can now build your own doors. You can sell doors to somebody else. You can do doors internally, and you don't have to worry about it. Doesn't mean you have to finish it. You can still send it out to a finisher if you want, but you're still money ahead. So you got doors right there. Free labor. Right there. The machine was already sitting there. You already paid for it to do the cabinets. It's just free labor sitting there. That's like telling Johnny, okay, here's the deal. I pay you $50 a day. Again, I don't know what Johnny actually makes, but I'm going to just use easy numbers here because I don't want to get over my head. $50 a day, Johnny, is what you get paid. You got to get done all these jobs. If Johnny gets done by 11 a.m. and he's done, right? Johnny made more money because he's done at 11 a.m.
Yep.
It's no different than here. Johnny's finishing at 11, but he's going to work for nothing now and just keep adding jobs to my plate for the rest of the day. That's what this is. Everybody out there, I want you to name your CNC machine Johnny. But now let's go beyond that. MDF doors. What is another thing in a shop that you guys commonly stumble upon when you talk to sales or when you talk to customers about CNC machines? What's another project?
Dovetails.
Dovetails. Okay, let's talk a little bit about that. Again, you can charge more for dovetails, can you not? Because it's not traditional joinery.
Correct.
Yep.
And it still costs you nothing more because your machine can do it.
Exactly.
So now your job prices go up because you're charging more for something that makes the cabinet better, makes it look better, the drawers look awesome, and it didn't cost you any more labor.
Correct.
It's free time on your machine. And you have to buy some bits. Cool. Do you guys know where we can buy those bits?
Vortex Tool.
Yeah.
They're out of Wisconsin.
Yeah, they're a great company. They're an American-made company. But where else can you buy those tools?
Shop Saver.
Shopsaver.com. I almost played the trombone for Travis when he said the answer. Like, where can you get those tools? Vortex.
First strike, Travis.
First strike. One more and he's off the show.
I wasn't necessarily wrong.
I mean, you're not wrong.
They are in Wisconsin.
They are in Wisconsin. But yeah, so no, it's a Great place, though. Like you said, Vortex tool, American-made tools. They're awesome stuff. I mean, they're MDF tools, they're dovetail tools, all excellent stuff. You could also do countertops. That's something to think about. You're not going to cut granite countertops. I got some guy out there like, wait, I can cut granite? No, just stop. Don't do it.
Solid surface only.
Yeah, solid surface material, exactly. You know, you can bring some of that stuff in. You know, Corian. You know, I've seen guys doing Corian, you know, stuff with backsplashes. You know, people have done stuff for showers. I mean, I've seen some cool stuff out there. But now you can do your professional jobs too, your closet jobs, your commercial jobs, you know. I'm trying to think of places that come to mind, you know, hospital is one, you know, obviously. Storefronts, yeah, doing store fixtures, things like that. Pharmacies, yep. Schools, right? The Mall of America. Sean Morley, he's been on the show a handful of times. Obviously, he's in a lot of the videos. He did the Cantina restaurant at the Mall of America.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't even know that.
Yep. All the aluminum paneling on the Cantina, he cut it on the Shop Saver.
I thought we did the Nickelodeon Universe sign too.
That is true as well.
Different guy.
Yep. But yeah, that's the cool stuff you think about. Like stuff that can be done in your machine that like somebody's paying somebody to do it. Mm-hmm. Why not you? So, you know, like we just talked about the signs. That's something to think about from Versatility. You might install cabinets, but if they need signage and you're the guy that cut a bunch of parts for them, they're probably going to at least ask you if you want the job.
Yep.
You know, the best thing to do is have so much work that you can say no to jobs because you're getting that much request. Like Sean is at that point where I literally will send Sean customers' information. It's like, hey, this guy needs a sign cut. Are you interested? He'll be like, no, I'm just too slammed right now to do that sign. Like, I'm just going to focus on what we're doing. But he has so much work that the machine literally can run all day long and he doesn't have to worry about it.
It's definitely a good problem to have.
Yeah. So now let's talk about that. So you have so much work, right? That's not a bad thing. But a lot of companies turn away jobs because they can't keep up, right? Mm-hmm. But when they actually look at it, it's like they're not that busy. But they're busy because they're doing it the hard way. You're busy only because of how hard you're making it on yourself.
Yeah, you're waiting for somebody else to cut your parts.
Correct. Yeah. You know, so you have quicker timelines and turnaround is another benefit of having a CNC. When you control the work inside your business, you don't have to wait on someone else. And that's something you have to hear. Like, your timeline is when you need it. Mm-hmm. And if your customer calls you today, as an example, okay? If I call you up, I'm your biggest customer that's out there, right? I do $5 million with you a year.
Whoa.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
But let's just say I do that. $5 million a year with you. Are you going to try to get my job out the door a little bit faster than the guy who needs one bath vanity?
I would do the $5 million job much faster.
Probably a good idea, right? So good job, businessman. Yeah. But I mean, seriously, when you think about that, okay, if I'm hotel tycoon, right? I have all these hotels in Vegas. I do all this stuff, and I need you to make me some cabinets for I'm going to remodel one of my entire hotels. You're going to try to get that done, right? Mm-hmm. So we get the job done, whatever happens. Install comes, right? Your contractor's in installing these cabinets that you just made for me. And one of my contractors breaks a cabinet, drops it, smashes it. Something happens, right? The job's got to get done still, right? So I call you up, Chad, and I'm like, hey, Chad, I really need you to make me one, man. If you control your own destiny here, right? You have your own machine. What are you going to do?
Go ahead and make it.
You're going to go make it. You're stop whatever you're doing, you're going to make it, right?
Yep.
You're going to work the nights. You're going to work weekend. You don't care. You're going to get that job done because you don't want to upset. And even if it's not even upsetting, it's much like, oh man, he took care of me. Like, I don't even question it. Like, I know you didn't have to do that, but because you took care of me, I always remember that. I'm probably not going to shop you on the next job, right?
Yep.
At least you hope not, right? The advantage to owning your own machine is you can go do that. That night, you can go out and cut the cabinet. Like, yeah, not a problem. You know, Brandon, I'll get it done. I'll do it tonight. I'll get you something tomorrow. He doesn't have to know that you did it, rush job necessarily, but he knows you did. Where if now you depend on somebody to cut that and you have to go pay somebody to do that, you can't make that promise, right? I can't promise you they're going to work nights or weekends. Your damaged job isn't necessarily that other shop's problem. They have big customers that are theirs, and you might not do the same volume as somebody else that's in their shop right now. And therefore, even though your biggest client came to you, it's not their biggest client. They don't care. So you have to think about that. If damaging something when you install, or you have to remake something yourself, like without having to ask favors, it's a lot harder when you don't have your own machine.
100%.
If you outsource or pay someone else, you have to wait on their schedule. It's not your schedule. With your own machine, you make the schedule. You tell it when it's working. And also, rush jobs are possible then. You can pay more money. Hey, yeah, you can pay me more money and I'll rush that job through then because I own it.
Yep.
But when you depend on somebody else to do something, you can't rush as much. It's a lot harder. Because again, the cost comes through you to them. Because if you're rushing them, they're going to charge you more too. So, okay, I'll charge you $1,000 more and then they're going to charge me $1,000. I made no more money. It was just more stress.
Yep.
It's a pass through at that point. So that's something to think about too, is you control your timelines, your turnarounds.
Quality.
Yeah, that's something to think about too. Quality. So as far as quality goes, nobody, loves on your customer like you do, right? Mm-hmm. It's just simple as that. Your quality is your brand. If you outsource or pay someone else to do something, you're limited by the quality of work they do. But that, though, is your reputation. I mean, it happens in CNC world. I don't build everything with our machine. We're American made, but I can't build the spindles, right? Yep. I can't build the motors. Mitsubishi had a massive backlog earlier this year. They had a huge supply chain issue, and it delayed our machines. Nobody was out there slamming Mitsubishi about being delayed. They were mad at ShopSaver, right? I had to defend myself. I had to stand up for it. I had to be the guy to take the lashing there. Same with, spindles. If a spindle fails, right? They see ShopSaver is the problem. But really, ShopSaver didn't fail. It was the part used, right? But in their eyes, it was ShopSaver. Same thing for your cabinets. Like your cabinet, if something happens, they don't view it as, well, that guy didn't get your parts in time or that guy cut the parts wrong. They view it as Jake's cabinet shop didn't do the job right.
No, you didn't do what you said you were going
to do. Yeah, you told me you were building me a quality cabinet and I didn't get a quality cabinet.
Nope.
The thing fell apart when I tried to install it. Like they're probably not very happy about that. So it's something you got to think about is, the quality control aspect of things is in your court then if you own the machine. If you purchased a cheap machine, an import product, didn't do the maintenance because, whatever it is, all that stuff can result in poor outcomes, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, now imagine your supplier did all that. Your supplier bought a cheap machine. So you're buying parts from the guy who has the machine, but he bought something out of China. Worked great the first time you used them, but now the machine's not running right. The accuracy's not the same. Something's not working the right way. Or the guy's just lazy. He took on so many jobs, he has no time to do maintenance on his own stuff, and his machine breaks down. Or his bearings are wearing out, so the accuracy's failing on his machine, right? Like, you're putting all of your reputation on the line because you're trusting that guy does business the way you do it. To me, that doesn't bode well for you long term, right? Mm-hmm. It's something you need to think about. If they get too busy too, you're going to pay the price. Your business is going to pay the price on that. So you have more quality control because you can assure the machine is running the way you want it to, that the product doesn't leave your shop until it's right. You inspect it. If you don't like something, you can recut it. You make the decisions. Okay, yeah, it might cost you an extra piece of material, but that's cheap compared to losing a customer.
Or
and I can do it right now.
Review.
Yeah, and a bad review, exactly. Yeah, that's something to think about. If you don't have a machine and you pay manual labor, let's just take that away, okay? You guys that are out there like, well, good news. The machine's not going to fail because I don't use one. Okay, so the guy gets sick. How'd that work out for you?
Breaks his hip.
You heard of this little thing going around called COVID? What if he ends up on a COVID-cation?
That's over now.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry.
I don't talk about that.
I'm sorry. What are we on now? What's the current event?
I don't know.
Whatever current thing is going around.
It went back to the flu again.
Is it the flu again?
Yeah, they're saying there's a big one
Whatever you
sweeping.
get now, the next thing, it's your guy's out of the shop. Mm-hmm. So now your broken machine isn't the problem, but it's lack of labor. Guy didn't show up, right? Or a guy got tired. Hey, here's my favorite, right? It's 8 hours into the day. He's been lifting sheets all day long. Do you think he moves as fast as he did at 9 a.m. as he is at 4 p.m.?
Absolutely not.
No, because he had lunch. We don't.
Everybody slows down after lunch.
Everybody's slower after lunch. I don't care who you are. You show me somebody who says they don't slow down after lunch, and I'll show you a liar. That was a lunch break horn, just so you know. But yeah, seriously, I mean, everybody gets slower after lunch. We all know that. Not to mention, I'm just going to say it. Everybody's got to take a poop break after lunch.
Mm-hmm. It happens.
Yeah. Guess you're going to get less work done in the afternoon. Sorry.
Well, the good news is if your machine's still out there running while you're taking your
Right.
poop break, it's
Right.
still making money.
You're making money while you're taking your stuff. There we go. But there, like I said, therefore 8 hours into your day, he or she's getting worse, because their accuracy's starting to be less than it was, Think about it. You looked at the same tape measure all day long doing the same thing. Like sometimes you get your eyes crossed a little bit.
Yep.
You make a mistake, right? Well, that costs you money.
Some days you just care more than others.
Some days you care more than others. Fridays, specifically, Friday work might not be the same as Tuesday work. Friday work tends to be a little bit
Slower.
slower.
It's like after lunch work.
Yeah, it's like after lunch work, but all day. Can you imagine after lunch on a Friday? Not good.
Especially after a snowfall and I want to start my snowmobile.
Oh my God, I can't handle them. I can't handle them
We're
anymore.
gonna kick them out.
Yeah. Hey, that's a good idea. Let's do it. Let's kick them out of the room. But we did upgrade from those buckets in the closet to now we have these chairs. This is nice.
That is nice.
We got some nice chairs in here.
A great sign.
I say we cut a sign. We could talk about that. We cut a talking shop sign this week. Hey, Kyle, you going to show off that sign?
Most definitely.
I like it. He's going to show off the sign so everybody can see how awesome we are. It's going to be great.
It's a pretty nice sign.
You like that? You like that?
Not anymore.
Nope, not anymore. I no longer like it. It is a pretty nice sign. I'm pretty excited about that. So we're making upgrades here. Eventually, the podcast might even go video. Is that true, Kyle?
That is true. Yeah.
We're getting video set up. You guys, we're going to be on video. It's going to be like this. Hey, and then I'm going to wave and you'll be able to see me.
I was always told I had a great face for radio.
You do have a great face for radio. That's why I
was
brought
told
you.
the same thing.
It's going to be good. I can't wait till people see your radio faces. But I mean, it's something to think about. Like I said, work days do slow down throughout the day, depending on what you got going on. There's variables outside of your control when it comes to human effort. I mean, you can motivate a guy all you want, but sometimes the guy just doesn't care. Right?
Absolutely.
Dude's going to the bar after work with his friends. I'm sorry, no matter what you tell him, he's thinking about going to the bar with his friends. Or maybe he's going on a date. He's thinking about that. Or he's got a snowmobile sitting at home trying to fire it
Yeah.
up because there's a snowfall. Travis.
Well, it's Travis's snowmobile, so we know it won't start.
That's the best part about it. I'm like, yes. Not
3
gonna
or
worry
4
about it.
pulls, boys. I'll update you tonight.
3 or 4 pulls, and he's going to knock his arm out of the socket.
Back inside.
Hey, check out Facebook Marketplace tonight. You'll see a gently used,
RMK 800.
hardly ridden RMK 800 sold by some guy out of Podunk, Minnesota. Right, Travis?
Yep.
You know that-
I've already held on to it for 1 year. Might as well hang on to it for one more.
One more. What's one more, right? So, what's something else that we should talk about that I can think of it right now? I'm going to see if you guys can guess it here. But it's the end of the year. You can buy things. What's the benefit of owning your own CNC machine?
A little something called Section 179 tax incentives.
Section 179.
I didn't
But
know
you should
Travis
probably
was
talk
gonna
to your
get that.
CPA. I don't know. I don't know.
You didn't think he was going to get that one?
I didn't think he was gonna get that.
You're like, he's going to say something just stupid. Travis is like, I'd like to go with snowmobiling for 400. No. So you're correct, Travis. You did say something there that got overshadowed by Chad and I making fun of you. But you said, talk to your CPA. I would like to reiterate that. Talk to your CPA. We are not tax advisors.
Just woodworkers.
We're just we're just woodworkers. We're just all woodworkers here. But yeah, seriously, don't take tax advice from us. We're terrible at tax advice. We're not that. But I will say you should talk to your CPA about Section 179. It's a tax write-off. You can use the CNC equipment for that in most cases. Therefore, the machine you purchase that will be used in your business day in and day out will help you make more money, can also help reduce your tax liability in some cases. That sounds like a win,
Yep.
right?
Absolutely.
So you could either outsource and pay somebody else for their tax write-off, or therefore you could have your own tax write-off. Because you're going to pay your taxes regardless. Well, I should stop. Not everybody's going to. I'm sure some people are not going to pay their taxes. But the majority of us are going to pay our taxes. For those of you that don't pay your taxes,
Congratulations.
But seriously though, if you don't pay your taxes, this doesn't apply to you. But for those of you that actually run a business and have to pay your taxes, Section 179 might make sense for you.
Yep.
So then we got to go into the last thing that I love to talk about when it comes to CNC machines. We talked about all these other benefits, but the biggest thing to me about owning a CNC machine is growth.
Absolutely.
You're growing. Like, you're allowing yourself to grow. If you don't buy a CNC machine, does that mean you're never going to grow? No, you're not going to. That doesn't necessarily mean you're not going to grow. But are you going to stunt your growth? Yeah.
You'll need a lot more Johnnies.
Yeah, you need a lot more Johnnies for that.
That's right.
Not wrong. But I was actually surprised. I'm going to be honest. I thought for sure you guys were going to make a short joke at me when I said stunt growth. As soon as I said it, I was like, I regret saying that statement.
I'm normal height, so I don't need to stoop to those levels.
I didn't want to get fired on a podcast.
Well played.
Still working on it.
Still working on it. Talking about snowmobiles.
Say it one more time.
Say snowmobile one more time.
Snowmobile.
Oh, man. Looking at the potential for, new and expanding your business, new ways to expand your business, excuse me. You got to think about new products, right? New services that you can offer your customer. And how much you grow really depends on what you're capable of doing, right? I mean, once you hit your maximum capacity, no matter what you do, you're not going to grow because you've maxed out. Mm-hmm. I could sell as many jobs as I want to sell, but if I can't build them, it doesn't do me any good. So there comes a point where the more I can build, the more I can sell, the more I can sell, the more I can make. So a lot of shops, 1-2-man shops, as Kyle said, the mom and pop shops, there's a far more of those people out there in this world than there are the medallion cabinets. Are there not?
Yep.
Exactly.
I mean, medallion cabinets is awesome. Don't get me wrong. I mean, there's some big companies out there that are pretty awesome companies. But the reality is there's a lot of guys out there and gals out there cutting cabinets in pole barns and, pole sheds and their garages. Yeah, like there's a lot of basements. I mean, there's a lot of people out there. So you got to think about that. Like, how much is being produced by them? Well, as much as the person in the shop can produce,
I was
right?
about to say a lot.
Yeah. I mean, that person, as hard as they want to work, they're going to produce.
Exactly.
But now if you can add a CNC machine to it, it effectively doubles or triples your production without having to hire a single person. What does that do for your business? Here's what I want you to think about. I got a customer that I know. I don't know if he's listening to this podcast or not. I've known him a long time. I met him through my dad, the old JB. Met him 10 plus years ago. And the gentleman lives in Florida. And he and his wife owned a cabinet shop. And he used to always talk about how busy they are, and obviously it's a family-run business. And he was talking about not being able to see his kids as much as he wants. He couldn't go to their dance recitals. He couldn't go do a bunch of stuff. And I thought it was kind of cool because he said, he worked 80-hour weeks because he was making money. Obviously, he's provided for the family. And then he decided to add a CNC machine. And he added the shop saver. And he called us a year later and said that, guy was pretty emotional about it and pretty sincere. And he said that we've changed his life. And he said that he now gets to see all of his kids' stuff. He goes to everything for the kids. And he's made more money this year than the year before. He's working less hours, making more money.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's because that machine has, the efficiency of his shop has just gone up tremendously. He doesn't have to sell more. He was comfortable with the way he was living, but now he doesn't have to work as much. He can now enjoy his life a little bit more. He got to go with his wife, with his kids, do things. Then eventually they blew up and turned into a massive company, came up with an awesome idea and sold it around the world, and it's super awesome. But that came from the ability for him to be able to spend time coming up with that product. Mm-hmm. Like he said, before he worked everything he had just to complete his cabinet jobs. I mean, he did a lot of cool things, and he's a really awesome guy. And like I said, it's cool because the shop saver kind of was the keys to the door, right? He opened the door because of the fact that he bought a shop saver. How many people are out there just thrashing away every day, beating their body up, beating themselves up, trying to just get by when they could be doing it so much easier? Mm-hmm. My dad used to say, right? Work smarter, not harder.
Yep.
The old JB.
Old JB.
Yep. But it's the truth there. And obviously JB didn't come up with that phrase. Let's be honest. We all know that wasn't my dad that designed that phrase. What? JB always comes up with these good ideas.
That's right.
But the reality is, I mean, seriously, he's not wrong. Well, my dad has always said, you got to be efficient with what you do. Just selling jobs isn't profitable always. You got to be profitable with what you sell. And if you're selling jobs that are taking you 3 times longer than your competitors for the same price, you're losing money. Simple as that. You're throwing money away. You can't be doing that.
Can't be doing that.
Can't be doing it. So you got to be exciting. In my opinion, you got to be exciting. Adding to your business should be exciting for you, but it should be exciting for your employees. Your employees like to grow too, I promise you. It's more exciting when you guys are doing things together and you're growing a company together and you see all the success together. You have to be excited for yourself, and your customers get excited by that. If I do business with you all the time and you're expanding your products, I get excited by that. I naturally want to buy something from you every time you come up with something new because I want to have the latest, right?
Yeah, it's good energy.
Yeah, it's good energy. I like energy.
I do too.
I like energy drinks too.
So negative people have negative energy, and
Yeah,
happy people have good energy.
correct. And that's why they always say surround yourself with people who are positive energy because positivity breeds positivity.
Exactly.
And does that, I mean, I have always said, just by, changing the people you're around, a lot of times that in itself will change the outcome. You don't have to do anything different than what you're doing today. Just changing the people will change the outcome. Mm-hmm. Because naturally, negative people look for the failure points. They look for something to fail. They talk about the negatives. They always talk about what's not going to work. Positive people look past that and say, what could be awesome? How is this going to benefit us? That's what I always look at. Your guys in the shop, you got the guy out there that's against change. Don't add a CNC machine. They're going to replace us. That's how they start. That's how they replace us. No.
Travis is still here.
Travis is still here. Trust me, I tried. But seriously, when you think about it, like you got that guy in the shop,
Hey, if they buy that machine, we're never going to be able to be promoted. If we get promoted, it's only without the machine.
I wasn't ready for that.
I wasn't either.
That was the employee. So really, you think by them buying a machine, you're not going to get a promotion?
Well, yeah, because how am I going to get promoted? Now they have a machine. They don't need me.
No, they still need you. And the reason they still need you is because of the fact somebody still has to run the machine. Be the guy willing to learn the machine. Be the guy willing to take the next steps in your career. Be the guy that's going to help the company take that leap in CNC because CNC is the future. It is the future. I mean, automation, where everything's going. I mean, heck, I didn't even have to talk to somebody the other day when I went to the drive-thru to get my kids food. There was a little thing I paid for on it and just pulled up and paid. Didn't talk to a single person. Pulled up and they gave me my food. It was awesome. So if they can go automated with that stuff, they're going to go automated with everything, right? Mm-hmm. You might as well be the guy that's behind the scenes running this stuff. Be the guy that doesn't have to work as hard anymore.
Get with
The times. The times? Yes, let's get with the times. But the reality is, you're telling me if we buy a machine, I don't have to work as hard.
That's what I'm telling you. You work smarter, not harder. Makes sense, right? I love that button.
It kind of freaks me out. I'm not going to lie.
They have more buttons here. Watch this one.
Now I sound really deep-voiced.
So,
Sounded like Chad there for a second.
I thought I was Chad there for a second. Hold on.
Travis, I don't like you.
Yeah, sounded just like him.
Sounded just like Chad.
No, but seriously though, like you said, adding things, equipment is exciting. It allows your business to expand, and as a cabinet shop, it should be really, really exciting for you to add this new technology. Because, like you said, you can bring in things like Travis, you had mentioned earlier, doors, drawers, moldings, all the other stuff that comes along with cabinetry. You're already in their house. You're already doing things in their house. Why not expand on other things you can do for them?
When I could bring up a situation about employees being excited. My uncle knew that I worked for this company, and their company was looking for a CNC. He had never run one before. He was slightly intimidated by the machine.
Yeah.
Now he's so excited. They just got the machine in their shop, and he can't wait to learn it. Now, on top of that, how are you going to learn? ShopSaver's got lifetime tech support, phone support, email support, online support. So I told him, I said, there's no reason to be scared. If you don't get it, you can come to our class, or you can just learn right on the phone with our techs.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that because that's a big part of it. That most of the time, the guys in the shop aren't against the machine as much as they're against the learning something new. They're
scared.
afraid of it. Yeah. They're afraid they're going to fail because they don't know how to do it, and then you'll not need them.
Yep.
You have to reassure them you're buying a piece of equipment from a reputable brand like ShopSaver who's going to train them and take care of them and stand behind it. And most times, when those guys see like what that machine's capable of and then realize they can learn it, they are excited by it because why wouldn't you be? Who's not excited to not have to work as hard? Right? Like, I still get my job done and I don't have to work as hard? Heck yeah, I'm in.
Well, and let's be real. Maybe there is that one guy you don't like, and if the machine outworks him, well, maybe you can get rid of him.
There is that too.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, found the guy. We had one of
Wait,
those.
hopefully it's not me.
Actually, speaking of that, we have to go find a new machine, Chad. No, but I mean, you make a point there. Don't let bad employees control your company either.
Correct.
You do have bad employees out there that literally they are so indulged in everything that they know everything about your business, and without them, you feel like you can't succeed, right? You're going to be, in a situation where now if that guy can strong arm you all the time, how does that bode for your business? Take control of your business. Let the machine be the accuracy and the skill there. Then you don't have to worry about one guy. If he goes on vacation, it kills your business, right? It shouldn't. You should be able to still have your employees enjoying their life, and it doesn't kill the business.
Absolutely.
So, honestly, at that point, I mean, you just have to think about adding a CNC machine.
ShopSaber.com.
Just go get a quote right now. Chad and Travis will help you. Right, guys?
For sure.
For
I'm
sure.
ready. Well, give me like 2 minutes once we're done with this podcast.
So, if you're a cabinet shop, you need to call ShopSaber. Simple as that. Like, I hope today, showed a lot of the benefits about having CNC in a cabinet shop. Made you think about something that you hadn't thought about before. Really, at the end of the day, that's all we're trying to do with these episodes is make you think, make you question how you're running your business, why you're running your business, and really get ourselves to that next level.
Sounds good.
Let's sell some cabinet machines now.
Let's do it.
Cool.
Phones are ringing.
Phones are ringing. That's true. You guys have a good weekend. I'm gonna be taking off for a little bit here, and we're gonna come back with another exciting episode. I know once I get back.
That'd be fun. Have fun in Hawaii.
Hey, thank you guys. Have a safe and fun weekend. So with that, I'm Brandon.
I'm Chad.
I'm Travis.
I'm Kyle.
Thanks for talking shop with ShopSaber.